High above the mortal world, where clouds drift like pale veils across the sky, and the winds carry whispers of ancient power, stands a gleaming palace built upon the sacred heights of Mount Olympus. Its golden columns rise toward eternity, its halls shimmer with the light of divine fire, and at its center sits a throne crafted with the precision of cosmic order. Upon this throne resides Hera, queen of the gods, guardian of marriage, protector of noble bloodlines, and sovereign of divine justice. Her presence commands attention without raising her voice, and her authority settles across Olympus like an unspoken law no god dares to challenge. Hera is magnificent, implacable, proud, and deeply complex, woven from threads of dignity, memory, and the scars of betrayal. To understand her is to enter the mind of a goddess who holds the weight of Olympus not through force, but through relentless will. Hera's origin reaches back to the age of Titans, before the reign of Zeus, and long before mortals shaped their small histories. Born to Cronus and Rhea, she was swallowed by her father just as her siblings were, hidden within the darkness of his stomach, while he strove in vain to prevent the prophecy of his own downfall. When Zeus matured and returned to free his brothers and sisters, Hera emerged into a world divided by war. She witnessed the storm of Titanomachy unfold, watched her siblings fight alongside Zeus, and saw the old order collapse beneath the rising force of the Olympians. When victory came, Hera stepped into a new era, an age of light and divine structure, where she would soon become the most powerful goddess on Olympus. Hera's marriage to Zeus lies at the heart of her legend, but it is also the source of her greatest suffering. Zeus, with his thunderbolt and unshakable authority, sought Hera not merely for companionship, but for the legitimacy and stability she represented. Hera resisted him at first, guarding her independence fiercely. Through determination, persistence, and transformation, Zeus eventually won her affection, and their union became the cornerstone of the Olympian order. Yet Zeus's wandering desires, his affairs with goddesses and mortals alike, planted bitterness in Hera's heart. A goddess of sacred vows, bound to a husband who broke them endlessly. This contradiction forged Hera's reputation for jealousy, wrath, and vengeance. But beneath her fury lies something deeper, a wounded sense of honor. For Hera, betrayal was not simply emotional pain, it was an assault on the very foundation she upheld, the sanctity of union. As queen of the gods, Hera's realm stretches far beyond the domestic sphere. She governs the very institution that binds societies together, marriage. She blesses noble unions, protects women in childbirth, oversees oaths, and maintains the dignity of family. Cities across Greece raised temples in her honor, and festivals celebrated her as the ideal of queenship. Mortals who respected marriage invoked her name, and rulers sought her favor to stabilize their kingdoms. Hera's influence reaches into politics, lineage, and legacy. She is a patroness of noble houses, a guardian of continuity, and a divine force that ensures the proper order of relationships among gods and humans alike. Hera's jealous fury, often retold in myths, is not the rage of a petty deity, but the stern judgment of a goddess who defends her domain with ferocity. When Zeus brought forth Athena without her involvement, Hera felt not only insulted, but displaced. When Zeus fathered Heracles with a mortal woman, Hera saw it as an affront to her sacred position. Her actions, fierce, relentless, and sometimes cruel, reflect the pain of a goddess forced to uphold fidelity in a marriage where her partner did not. To the ancient Greeks, Hera was not a villain. She was a divine embodiment of loyalty, dignity, and rightful place, striking against any threat to the order she swore to protect. Among her many stories, the rivalry with Heracles stands as one of the most iconic. From his birth, Hera sought to undermine the demigod destined for greatness. She delayed his birth to grant kingship to Eurystheus, sent serpents to his cradle, and later drove him into madness that cost him dearly. Yet Heracles' labors, those trials of strength and endurance, ultimately led to his apotheosis, and Hera, recognizing his worth, accepted him into Olympus. The goddess who once tormented him later welcomed him as a son through marriage, revealing an unexpected depth of fairness within her character. Hera's role in the Trojan War further illustrates her strategic and political mind. She favored the Greeks, driven by a long-standing grudge against Paris of Troy. When Paris judged Aphrodite the fairest instead of her, Hera vowed that Troy would fall, and she pursued that outcome with unstoppable determination. She negotiated alliances, manipulated events, and altered the tide of war through subtle influence rather than raw power. Hera's strength lay not in brute force, but in the art of divine politics. In every myth, Hera represents an aspect of existence that even gods fear to violate: rightful authority. While Zeus shakes the heavens with thunder, and Poseidon stirs the oceans with his trident, Hera governs the invisible fabric that binds civilizations together. Her symbol, the peacock, displays the watchful eyes of vigilance and beauty. The diadem upon her head signifies her sovereignty. The cow symbolizes nurturing dignity. Every emblem she bears reflects both strength and grace. Though often painted as vindictive in later retellings, Hera in ancient Greek thought represented the highest standard of loyalty, order, and regal presence. Her anger was the wrath of a goddess defending structure in a world where desire and chaos constantly threatened to unravel it. To contrast to the wild passions of Aphrodite or the martial fervor of Ares, Hera stands as the embodiment of continuity. She ensures the gods maintain their hierarchy, mortals honor their oaths, and families preserve their legacy. Her power is quiet but undeniable. Her presence is unshakable. She is the queen who does not need thunder to command obedience. Hera's influence is felt not only in myths, but in the very psyche of ancient Greek society. She represents the noble woman, the matriarch, the center of the household, the protector of tradition. In many cities, Hera was worshipped more fervently than Zeus. Her temples in Samos and Argos were among the grandest in the Greek world. Her festivals drew thousands, celebrating the divine union of heaven's king and queen. Priests and priestesses guarded her rites with unwavering devotion, for Hera's worship was tied to civic identity as much as personal piety. Underneath her stern exterior lies a goddess of profound emotional depth. She grieves betrayal, cherishes loyalty, and upholds honor even when wounded by the very god meant to stand beside her. Hera's stories teach lessons about loyalty, justice, power, and the fragile balance between love and authority. She is a deity shaped not by malice, but by purpose, not by cruelty, but by the weight of expectations placed upon her since the dawn of Olympus. As we close our journey